Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel Digital Sreeni, and in this video I'll walk you through my image annotation tool. It has been downloaded over 50,000 times in the last 1 year from PyPy. This is super wild because I developed this for my own sake and I thought some of you may benefit, and I released it, and looks like more than some of you are actually finding this to be useful. So I just pushed a big update, version 0.9, and before I get into it, I would love to give a huge shout out to Sebastian, whose GitHub handle is Cofade, C-O-F-A-D-E. He actually helped build a lot of the cool stuff in this specific release, so thank you, Sebastian. So what's new in 0.9? There are quite a few things, and 3 are worth mentioning. First is Grounding-DINO text prompted detection. I have done videos on Grounding-DINO in the past. In this case, it's actually integrated into this annotation platform, so it would be super useful. At least I hope you would find this to be super useful. Why? Because with Grounding-DINO, you just type in plain English what you're looking for, and it finds it for you. And then you review whether you want to accept those or not. The second thing is SAM2 fine-tuning. So instead of relying on the generic pre-trained SAM2 weights, you can now fine-tune it directly on your own annotations. And every run is automatically tracked with MLflow, so you can compare your different experiments that you do with this training. And the third one is the proper keypoint and pose annotations. All of these on top of the existing SAM2 assisted automated annotation that we already kind of had in 0.8 version, and the manual tools and image handling utilities for getting your dataset, training, I should say, ready for your training. So let me just show you how to install it and get started. And installation is very easy. You just type pip install digitalsreeni-image-annotator. I tried to find like shorter names, but almost everything is taken when it comes to image annotation. So I inserted my name and then made it long, but hopefully once you install it, it should be easy to use it. Okay, if you want more details, you can just go to the homepage, like the GitHub page. But now that you know how to install it, you just copy that and go to your environment. It definitely helps if you have PyTorch, for example, right? I mean, GPU. That way your AI assisted annotations would be faster. And you can open the UI just by typing Sreeni, or you can just type Digital Sreeni-image-annotator. I put an alias, so it's easy for us to go ahead and type these, few letters. And first thing first, I was thinking about changing the font size, but I hope you can see it well, even with the large font size, because these ones can be pretty awkward. So that's the first thing. And we have a concept of project because you don't want to lose your, the progress. So let's go ahead and save the project first. Let's just call this demo. And there you go. The project is saved. So, and along with the project, you always have the images subdirectory in which you have all the images that you're trying to annotate. And if the image is not there and you're trying to import from somewhere or open from somewhere, the project, the UI will tell you that, hey, I'm copying the image into your images directory. So it's okay. You can open images from other locations. I'm going to show you only the top 2-3 key aspects here. And I'll let you explore because I hope this is intuitive. So first thing, you can open images along with annotations if you already have them and you're continuing something that you haven't saved as a project, or typically you start from scratch. And let's go ahead and add, let's get to this mitochondria image in a second, but let's actually take a natural scene. And I literally downloaded this images, so keeping the fingers crossed. So let's see. I believe in SAM and Grounding-DINO, so fingers, they don't need to be crossed. I'm sure it'll do a good job on this one. So let's go ahead and add classes, and let's do a car. What do I see? What else do I see? I see people, so I'll call this person. And let's add one more. Let's call this traffic lights. And we can add quite a few more, but let's just leave it to these. And you can actually manually annotate by just clicking car and then like rectangle tool or polygon tool, but that's no fun. The earlier version 0.8.12, we had the SAM, so all you had to do was we still have it. SAM2, pick the base model, for example. By the way, any model that you pick, the first time it's working, you start using it, it takes a little while for it to download, right? SAM is a pretty, not humongous model, especially the base and tiny, but the Grounding-DINO one, I believe, is almost 2 GB. So the first time, be patient, keep an eye on your console here. It tells you exactly what's going on. It tells you that, hey, I'm downloading this specific model or whatever. So that's the first time. I already have it, obviously. And let's go ahead and do SAM. Let's do car, and for a car, let's put SAM box and draw around a car, and obviously, as you can see, it detects the car. You can type enter to accept it, or in my case, I'm going to hit escape. I'm not accepting it because I want to show you a more cool way of doing the same, hopefully detecting all the cars here in one go. Let's see, okay, which basically is Dino. Let's pick the Dino model as Grounding-DINO base model right here. And again, the first time it saves it, right? So it should download it, but in my case, I have it. For each of the classes, you already have certain thresholds preloaded here. I wouldn't touch the text threshold and the NMS threshold. NMS threshold, it's optimized to 0.5. NMS is if the same object is detected twice, you want the one, only one of those, right? So play with that. If that's an issue. Box threshold is what I would adjust, right? In some cases, especially scientific images, you may have to drop the box threshold a little bit down, so you are detecting some of the objects that it's having trouble detecting. Okay, yeah, for now, let's leave as is. Now, Grounding-DINO is text-based, right? You type what you want to detect, and then it detects it. In this case, whatever the class name is, it gets automatically added as a phrase for Grounding-DINO. You can add more phrases in case it's struggling to detect something, right? So detect the red object or something, then it detects all the red objects. But let's not do any of that. Let's just click detect current image. And let's see, it should be decently fast, especially if the model is already loaded. Now I know it is actually loading the model. Again, let me open this and it should tell you what's happening right here. Okay, so let's go ahead and okay, so of course it's done right there. And as you can see, it puts like all the detected objects. These two cars are not detected because they are hiding behind this pole, but you can adjust the sensitivity or the threshold to detect them. But first of all, let me go ahead and hit enter to accept these. Now you can see this is a car, that is a car, that is a car. It's tough to read from your side probably. And you see it says this is person 1, person 16, and so on. You can click and delete if you think it got something wrong, but the traffic lights are outlined in green. You see that's traffic light, traffic light, traffic light. It did an amazing job, as you can see. This is the advantage of text-based like Grounding-DINO here. Okay, this is a natural image, so fine, who cares? It's probably, Grounding-DINO is trained on a whole bunch of natural images, right? So it is expected to do very good on these type of images, maybe also on satellite images and also on radiology images. I heard it has some of that in its training data. But let's go ahead and let's close this project. Let's actually save the project and let's go ahead and create a new project. And let's call this demo 2. See, I'm being extra creative now. Demo 2. And again, this is, mitochondria. So that's my project, new project created, fine. And let's go ahead and do exactly the same. Let's add images. And now let's add this TIFF image. Again, this is a TIFF stack. So it suggesting that, okay, 165 Z slices, and that's the height and that's the width. I'm going to just say okay because that's true. Otherwise, you can change them if you want. Okay, so with proprietary images, you have multiple dimensions. You can open, for example, CZI image from Zeiss, and then you have time, axis, and you have scenes, and you have channels, and you have Z and X and Y. So then it becomes very important for you to assign the right dimensions. Okay, now that we have the image, you can go through different images, different slices right there. Let's go back to the first slice. And what do we want to detect? We want to detect mitochondria here. So let me add that as one of the classes. And again, let's pick the SAM model to be the base model. As usual, you can actually click on, for that specific class, you can click on SAM box and you can actually do something like this. And you can keep doing this. and accepting it. But again, let's see if we can automate this to make things a bit faster. So let's go ahead and pick the Dino model, and let's do Grounding-DINO base. I'm not touching the thresholds yet. We may have to do that in a couple of minutes. Okay, so far so good. Now let's go ahead and run this. I'm pausing there so you can actually see that the parameters, what parameters we have, and the phrases here is mitochondria. Let's go ahead and detect current image, and let's see if it detects anything. It says no detections found. Okay, let's go ahead and let's change this to 0.1, the threshold. Okay, and that scientific images are not easy. So let's detect current image. Oh, it detected 1 mitochondria. So it is, as you can see, how the threshold is helping right there. Let's do something else. Let's go down to 0.05 and see if it helps. And let's go ahead and detect. Of course, it's helping a little bit, but it's not what we want, right? I mean, it's detecting this large area as mitochondria. So I am not going to accept any of that. And let's actually go back to my comfort zone is 0.1 is okay. 0.15 is fine. You know, detect current image. It's not detecting anything. So the prompt mitochondria itself is not good. So let's actually go ahead and add another phrase. And what shall we call this? Let's call this small oval objects. Okay, right? I mean, these are all small oval objects. Let's see. You can also say small oval objects that are darker than the background or something. So let's try this and see, and detect current image. Oh, there you go, guys. Isn't that amazing? You detected all these mitochondria. If you think that's not a mitochondria, you can click on it, delete it, yeah, and you can see the list down here. So if you think it's working great on one image, and by the way, it missed this one, right? You can always use the SAM. Let's go back here. You can always use the SAM box and draw around it and manually add stuff that you think it missed, because it's in scientific images, it's very difficult for it to pick everything, right? Now, the question is, okay, so this is all great. I have a whole bunch of training images in this TIFF stack. So how do we, so you see how many we have? I mean, I have all 165 images, and let's go ahead and I'm happy with these settings. Let's go ahead and detect all images. Now it's going to take a little while, of course, to detect mitochondria in all these images. There is a progress bar right there. I'm going to pause this video and then continue as soon as this reaches 100% so we can verify how it did on different slices. Okay, it's just done, and let's go ahead and click on a few of these. By the way, one thing I totally forgot, I should have done this, because initially we checked like how it was working on, you know, right there on this specific slice, and it was working fine. I should have changed this right here, review before accepting, to auto accept all detections, so I don't have to like hit enter and review each of these slices. But manually reviewing, you can see it's doing such an amazing job right there. So it's working great. So I hope you appreciate this specific tool. And whatever, I mean, the rest of the stuff, I definitely encourage you to check out what else we have. For example, fine-tuning the SAM using your own annotations is one thing. YOLO, we had it before. You know, if you still want to use YOLO, go ahead and do that, both training and prediction. And under tools, you'll find a lot of cool tools here, like annotation statistics, like how many annotations do we have. And in this case, I haven't accepted any of these, right? So it's giving me statistics based on the first slice or so, whatever I accepted. But you have those, and JSON combiner, if you have multiple JSON files combine. These are all the tools that I developed because I was struggling, you know, with these things. So dataset splitter, you have a dataset, you want to split them into training, testing, and create the JSON files, associated JSON files and everything. You can use that. Merge COCO for training. Stack to slices. A stack like this, you can you know, save individual slices. That's what that is. Image patcher, very similar. You have a large image and you want to divide that into multiple patches and save them. That's what this one is. Image augmenter, as the name suggests, you can apply various augmentations. Slice registration is this is all the code that I had forever, that I developed over last few years and kind of put everything at one place. So this is definitely for registering your slices. and stack interpolator. Again, if you have two stacks, this is a very useful tool if you have datasets like FibSem datasets where the thickness between the slices is not uniform. In one case, you may have certain nanometers, another case, different nanometers. Now, by interpolating, you can actually get a nice isotropic or equidistant, Z slices. DICOM converter, everyone can relate to that, and export annotated video frames and so on. Okay, so please go ahead and explore that. I seriously hope you find this tool to be useful. So yeah, there you go. Now you know at least at a high level how to use it. So thank you very much for watching this video.